everyone. Hope so you all are the well, right? So welcome back to our channel, that is Chemical Engineering. Myself Dr. Kirti Zare. Today I am going to explain you about the Crank-Nicolson method. In my last video I have uploaded the Smith method, which is again useful for the finite differential form of the equation. So this method is also useful for the finite differential form of the methods in which you are supposed to calculate the parabolic type of the profile. Right. Now, what are the different application of this particular type of the method? So these all methods are going to used in the calculations of the time dependent for the heat equation. It can be also used into the different physics. It can be also used into the engineering and the research field as well, right? So let us start this particular type of the problem through the Crank-Nicolson method, right? They have already given such type of the finite differential form of the equations, in that they are giving the condition x is equal to the 0 and its a bottom limit, that is x is equal to the 3. U, that is nothing but the some form of the restrictions or the some form of the boundaries. So they are given that is equal to the 0. Again they are giving that t is equal to the 0. They are giving the function firstly u is equal to the x square. Take the increment for the x as a 1 and take the increment for the t as a 0.1. Right? They are also mentioned the value of t, that is equal to the 0 up to the t is equal to the 0.3, right? So I had already drawn this given data table which is indicate x, in which the increment factor become the 1, that is called as a h. So it's starting with the 0 up to the 3, and next that is the t. They are giving the increment factor for the t, that is called as a k, right? So that become the 0.1. And the t is started from the 0 to 0.3. So this is the calculations, or this is the table with respect to the given data. Alright, now they already mentioned the u is equal to the 0. So you can simply write at a at the initially level 0 0 0, and here you can also write it is the 0 0 0, right? For the first row you are supposed to calculate the u. For the first row, you calculate the u, that is equal to the x square, right? So what is the value of x they are mentioned? That is the 1, right? So this value become the 1 square, means that become the 1. So this value become the 1, right? And second value of u, that is equal to the again x square. So what is the value of the x here? That is nothing but the 2. So you are supposed to consider the 2 square. So that become the 4, right? Right? Now, how can you calculate the u1? That is nothing but the u1 is equal to the 1 by 4, right? That is for the average out of this all. So, simply you are supposed to consider the u1 at the middle, right? u1 is at the middle, and you are supposed to consider the all 4 corners, right? Means you have to make the simply square of this, right? Means you have to make the square while you are going to calculate the u1, right? This all square value you are supposed to consider over here. So that become the 0 plus next value is the u2 plus 4, and that next value become the 0, right? Say similarly manner to add the middle one, and you are supposed to consider the u1 1 0 0 value, right? So you have to consider like this, right? To write the u2, that become the u1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, right? This is the u4. Now you can solve this equation form in the simultaneously form of the equation. You have supposed to rearrange this, that is 4 u1, that is equal to the u2 plus the 4, and second value 4 u2, that is equal to the u1 plus the 1, right? Now you having the equations and the two unknown. Two equations and the two unknown. If you are going to solve by the simultaneously, either by using the calculator, or either you can write the any value either into the u1 or either into the u2 form. So you are getting the u1 value become the 1.133 and u2 value become the 0.533, right? So these two values are for the u1 and the u2, right? So let us put this value into this, because later you are supposed to calculate for the u3 and the u4. So at that time you are supposed to use the u1 and the u2 value over here, right? So let us just put this value over here into this table. So u1 value become the 1.133 and u2 value become the 0.533, right? Of the u3, so which can be calculated as the same way, that is u3 become the 1 by 4 and all the four corners whenever at the u3 at the middle stage, right? So here our u3 value is there. So you are supposed to consider this total value, that is the 0. Again this is the 0 and this is dotted line you are supposed to consider here, right? So it is started with the 0 plus u4 plus again u2 value plus 0, right? Now similarly manner you are supposed to calculate for the u4. So now u4, how can you calculate the u4 over here? So that is again this manner, right? You have to make this something like that for the u4. So it become the 1 by 4 into, so you are supposed to consider this. So u3 plus 0 plus again 0 plus you are supposed to consider the u1 over here, right? So again you are getting the two simultaneously form of the equation, but here you can put the u2 value and here you can put the u1 value. This value over here, that is the u3 is equal to the 1 by 4 into the u4 that you are supposed to calculate plus the u2 value. So that value become the 0.533, right? And similarly way for the u4 that you are supposed to calculate the 1 by 4, u3 value you are supposed to calculate it plus the u1 value that you are just calculated, that is 1.133, right? If you are going to rearrange these equations for the first equation, so we are getting that for u3 that is equal to the u4 plus 0.533, right? And again in the same manner for u4 that become the u3 plus 1.133. So again you having the two equations and the two unknown is there. So if you are going to solve this simultaneously, the u3 value become the 0.2177 and you are getting the u4 value that become the 0.3375. Put the value over here, that is the u3 become the 0.2177 and u4 become the 0.3375, right? Now similarly again you have to make one square over there, that is nothing but this is at the middle point and you are supposed to consider the 4 point. So that become the 0 plus 0 plus u4 plus u6, right? This u5. So you are supposed to consider this like that, right? So you have noted this all corner over here, right? Now similarly we quickly calculate for the u6, that is nothing but again average, that is 1 by 4. So u6 is here. So you are supposed to consider the, again it is at the middle point and you are supposed to consider this. Okay. So that become the u5 plus u3 plus 0 plus 0. Right? The calculation of the u5, you having the value of the u4 that you are already calculated. So u4 value become the 0.3375 plus the u6. Similarly, way u6 value, that is nothing but the 1 by 4 u5 u5 value that you are supposed to calculate it, and the u3, so u3 value become the 0.2177. Right? If you are going to rearrange this first equation, that is the 4u5, that is equal to the u6 plus 0.3375u. And the second equation, that become the 4u6 is equal to the u5 plus 0.2177. Right? Now two equation is there, two unknown is the u5 value become the 0.1045u. The u6 value that become the 0.080. Quickly put this all values, so you are getting the u5 become the 0.1045u, and in the u6 that is equal to 0.0806. Right? So this is the complete solution of this particularly finite form of the equations. Right? If you understand this particularly form of the numericals, so please subscribe my channel, that is the chemical engineering. Please share it and also comment it if you are having any doubt into this particularly numericals. Right? Thank you so much for the watching.